The healthy man wants 10,000 things. The unhealthy wants just one. We're back with another reflection on a Daily Vedantic. There's a phrase within investing of, but this time it's different. And this is used as a cautionary phrase anytime you think, but this economic cycle is different than the ones in the past. These warning signs, well, this time it's going to be different. It is often seen as a phrase that fools use, but this time it's different. A phrase that is right at the top of my to-do list every day. The very top is God, family, community, body, work. So God in the highest order. It's usually just 4:30 a.m. Most important thing do every day for any of us. It's what we do right when we wake up, ideally before the sun comes up, before the world pulls us out of ourselves. And that time, even 15 minutes between 4 and 6 a.m. As is said within this philosophy, the only thing that matters is what you do between 4 and 6 a.m. Nothing else really matters. That's kind of reminds me of St. Augustine's quote of, love God and do whatever you want. You get the fundamental right, and everything, all of the, if the roots are right, then you can't help but to grow beautiful fruit. Notice how trees grow beautiful fruit and they don't consume any of it. So I've got God and then family, then community, then body, because I'm someone that for 30 years just completely neglected, wasn't unhealthy, but I was like, all right, the body stuff, that's like last on the list I got to do. It was all work first. Then it was maybe community, then maybe family. It was never really that deliberate, let's put it that way, but probably in that directional order. Certainly not God first. But right after God, family, community, body, and work, and the to-do list items within those realms, right below that is these two words, nothing happens. So I finish my to-do list, and those two things they just stay there. So I finish it, whatever 5 or 6 things I've written down below for that day, and I get done with them, sometimes multiple times in the day. I get done and I just see nothing happens. And as we've touched on before, Swami will tell someone when there's like some big fork in the road, they don't know what to do and decide for their life, and Swami will say, it doesn't really matter. Make any choice. Nothing really happens anyhow. There's the profound and absolute interpretation of that. Nothing happens. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go listen to the first episode of this podcast to at least string together the absolute interpretation of what he'd mean by that. But there's also the practical aspect of this phrase, nothing happens. And I feel it every day. Yesterday was a really big, momentous day. At least momentous moment. Something happened in the morning. By 1 p.m., even 30 minutes later, nothing really changed. I woke up this morning and everything's pretty much the same. I have a friend, Justin Kahn, who talks about how when he sold his company Twitch for $1 billion, 3 months later, he couldn't get out of bed for 4 days because he was so depressed. Nothing really happens. And yet, whenever we get attached to some new goal, some new desire, it's just out of reach and eluding us. The more we chase it, it's just extra 2 or 3 feet right out of reach. We get caught up in this same old paradigm of, yeah, but if I get that, this time it's different. If I get that, something will happen. If I could just get that, it'll all happen. The healthy man wants 10,000 things. The unhealthy wants just one. And yet, how many times have you or I been unhealthy, just wishing to be free of that pain or suffering, that ill health, and then you are? And did it all change? Did it all happen for you? I know for myself, just slip back into the 10,000 things. Nothing happens. It's a powerful reminder, but powerful because in the background, a really insidious mind virus runs in all of our operating systems that, but this time it's different. And maybe philosophically, it's the same as they say in the investing world. But that is a phrase of fools. That this time is not going to be different. That it'll be the same that it's always been. History is just rhyming and repeating over and over and over again until we get the message that this time will probably not be any different. That is today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.